Welcome to the Light at the End of the Funnel podcast with your host, Danielle Fitzpatrick-Clark, #1 best-selling author, speaker, and dream client attraction specialist. Real conversations for real results. Here, entrepreneurs and small business owners share what happens on the journey to success, the nitty-gritty, the highs and lows, the ahas that brought them to the light at the end of the funnel. Now, here's Danielle.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Light at the End of the Funnel. I am your host, Danielle Fitzpatrick-Clark, #1 best-selling author and dream client attraction specialist. And today I have a wonderful speaker, Dr. Meredith J. Watson, Mac Boss Doctor. She's a rebel mom of one precious daughter that she homeschools and an angel son that she immensely adores. So she adores both of them. She is a mediator, private practice, and Mac Boss Doctor, a light working business and life mentor. So she helps her clients write a script so they can soar and rise above the ashes that consume them. After working with Meredith, Dr. Meredith, they create an impact, and she is also into spiritual practices that keep her well balanced. So thank you so much, Dr. Meredith. I feel like I'm interviewing somebody from Grey's Anatomy.
That's hilarious. I do love her from that show, though. And I have, on occasion, been like, choose me, choose me.
It's a great show, and it's funny because all my female speakers are like, I love Grey's Anatomy. And so I'm like, okay, we're in the right group. All of us.
Private practice is awesome too. Anything with Tay Diggs in it.
He's a hunk. Yes. I was really sad to see that one go. I was sad to see that one go off. I like that one too.
I'd rather have had that than Grey's, but that's just me.
Yeah. Well, he's really nice eye candy, so I don't blame you.
Yeah. He probably kept the show's ratings high.
Yeah. Well, Grey's Anatomy got rid of all the good eye candy.
I know, Dr. McDreamy. Hello.
Mm-hmm. And then the other one I liked a lot. I can't even remember his name. Not McSteamy.
I have this obsession with old men. So I liked the older doctor who eventually had like the dexterity problem.
Oh, yeah. Is that the one that Christina Yang was married to or engaged to?
Oh, no, I did like him too. He was the chief of staff.
Yes. Who's that one that you're talking about, the one?
He always had the salt and pepper hair like my father. Well, like you know who that is. But yeah, I can't remember his name, but
I'm trying to remember.
The older I get, the bigger my cap goes. So it's like when I was younger, my cap used to be 40. And now that I'm getting older, it's like 50, 70, you know.
There you go, guys. Any of you men that are listening, she's got a really, really high cap.
I do. And I can hold my end of the conversation.
Yes, you can. You've been awesome to have a conversation with before. And we are going a little off track, but that's okay because this is a totally fun interview. So, Dr. Meredith, I would love for you to kind of fill us in a little bit more about what it is that you do and who you're serving right now, because I know you've taken a huge shift too.
I have. A very quick backstory. I just came out of 2 years of what I call my spiritual awakening. Mm-hmm. And it's not the most fun thing in the world. It's not all ums and yoga pants on the beach.
Nope.
It is a lot of self-awareness and doing the mindset work and making sure you know who you are intrinsically. And as a recovering people-pleasing doormat,
Hi, nice to meet you.
I tell people all the time I'm a part of the Introverts Club, but we haven't met yet. Yeah. But it's really important to get to know yourself, and I'm hungry to help others dive deep into who they intrinsically are. Like one of the first things I ask people is, who are you? Not the doctor, not the mom, not the wife, not the sister. Who are you? What's your favorite color? What do you like to do? And you find a lot of people don't know what they like to do. They're like, I take my kids, my husband says, my mom asks, and it's not them. So what I help people find is wealth and Zen. Because at the root of most people's issues is a lack of tranquility and self-alignment and happiness within, and lack of concrete, continuous revenue generation. And we all have a leverageable skill. We all have a skill that we can monetize.
Yeah.
So why not use that to transform and impact the world in a way that only you can?
Yeah.
So I take people through an esoteric numerology session where we look at the numbers don't lie. You know, you can be the most concrete, practical person, but the numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
And we go through what are your limiting beliefs. And, you know, one of mine was, you know, we're not enough. A lot of people come up with, I'm not enough. I don't deserve wealth. I don't deserve a happy life. I don't deserve to have this mate who adores me. You know, I don't deserve. So it's getting over the limiting beliefs. And then I teach you how to manifest. And coming from the background of, you know, strict, concrete, religious, you know, I really had to delve deep into what that meant for me. And we're always manifesting.
Yes.
But it's about what we're manifesting. You know, a lot of people have a poverty mindset. They don't believe. And so that's what their vibration, that's what they're calling in. And, you know, if you think, you know, you're going to, we wake up, and I used to do this to myself. Oh, I stubbed my toe. It's going to be a terrible day. Well, that's the vibration you're sending out. You're going to wake up first thing when you wake up in the morning, and it sounds kind of kooky, but hug yourself.
Oh, I love
and
that.
It's so important that you love yourself and think of 3 good things about yourself. You know, even if I fed my kids nutritious food, I donated some potluck to the widow next door, whatever, even if it's the little things. I held the door for the older man, whatever it is. We've all done something, I hope, that makes us feel good. And then when you're brushing your teeth, have little sticky notes that, you know, I will achieve my goals. I'm going to take 5 minutes and have them be positive things. I love myself. I have beautiful eyes, you know, whatever it is, just something. Start out slow.
Yeah.
So, you know, manifesting the things and getting in that vibration. And then I take it into the business because I have an MBA and I have the business background. So I can teach you how to build a business.
Yeah.
But build a business that you are crazy obsessed with. And I say it this way, and people think I'm absolutely insane, but it's almost like you're married to your job, but it allows you to be a better mate, a better wife, a better mother, a better father. If you love what you do, spending so much time, like Steve Jobs says, you're going to spend a lot of time working. So you need to love what you do.
Yes.
So I teach people how to monetize their leverageable skill and enjoy. And there's so many ways, because even if one of my first clients that I helped get to 6 figures was a janitor, and we moved him to a music therapist, and he had 5 kids. His wife wasn't working. So I know it's doable, but when you find your passion, you don't work a day in your life. Not one day.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's so powerful, and it's so true. And I love the work that you're doing, because it so is in alignment with me, and one of my core values is self-expression. So you're teaching something so important that most people forget, that, you know, what it is they are passionate about is a business. It can absolutely be that for you.
It can. And I think that the more you get into who you are, because I've been a sales coach, I've been a business coach, I've been an intuitive business coach, I'm still an intuitive business coach. But the wealth and the Zen, that's the core. That's the surface. That's the bottom of the ocean. And I don't mean like, you know, the bottom of the ocean where the trash is. I mean, where you live. Like, I want to help people create wealth, because it's a whole lot more fun to cry in a Mercedes than to cry in a Pinto. And it's a whole lot more fun to know that you have the ability to feed your kids, send your daughter to taps. You know, my daughter loves dance, and you can travel, you know, and, you know, you could go see your friends in another state at a moment's notice and, you know, write it off as a tax if you, you know, do some business while you're there.
Let's do an hour strategy, right?
That's right. That's right. Planning our VIP day at the islands. But
yes, we talked about that, guys, just so you know. We're talking about going to Florida.
Florida is life. But to be able, you know, to afford to invest in yourself, you know, I treat myself to coaches. Yeah. Because it's, as I pour into my clients, I need to be poured into. And what I learn, I teach my clients with my spin.
Yes.
Beautiful. So it's just, to me, a ripple effect.
Absolutely.
My own movement.
I love it. So let's dig into some of the things that you're talking about, and this goes back from where you were speaking to people stop themselves with limiting beliefs. So how have you seen that show up for yourself and even some of your clients?
For me, and then one of my, star clients, for me, it was, I grew up as a people-pleasing doormat.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time that I spent 40 years in a box without air holes because I did what other people thought I should do. And I was the good girl. And I really thought I was immune to pain and suffering and even grief. But it does not doesn't make you immune to those things, but it teaches you. Like the last 2 years, doing the inner work and coming, like I say, rising above the ashes that tried to consume me, I realized at the core of it, I like to belong and I want to be a part, and I don't ruffle feathers and I walk on eggshells and I don't think I'm enough and deserving. And having to kind of do surgery, symbolic surgery on myself and take that part out and put it over here, look at it, put it in a ball and just send it away and replace it with self-love and spiritual practices. And spirituality isn't necessarily religion. It's to me, and this is so funny, and all the people who, when I was a pastor for 10 years, are probably going to be like mouth on the floor. But religion is, for me, someone else's experience, and spirituality is my own experience.
Oh, I love that.
Deepak Chopra actually said that, but it resonates.
Yeah.
Because I read the Bible 3 times all the way through, but it's always about other people and how they experience things. But the last 2 years, I have my own footprint story, like my own. Yeah. It's more personal to me, and it makes you realize that you are co-creating, even if you don't know it. Even if it's not what you think. Like when my mom sees it, she's probably going to be so embarrassed. But I didn't say your name, Mom, so nobody knows it's you. But yeah, no one
knows who Mom is.
I am strangely obsessed with my mom, ridiculously. Yeah. Like if it wasn't blasphemous, I'd probably kiss the ground she walks on. That's how much she's freaking amazing. But she blew me to smithereens about 2 years ago. Yeah. And I was so mad at her, but I realize now that it was a lesson. I had to learn to depend on myself, to love myself, not to need outside validation. And I always said, and I kind of see if this is another example of vibration and what you set yourself up for. Yeah. All my life, I said, if I have to learn a lesson, my mom's going to have to teach it to me because I'm not going to listen to anybody else. And lo and behold, she blew me away. And I was like, I literally had a heart attack, literally. And it was because I was so obsessed with her approval and her, gracing and blessing what I do. But it taught me to lean on my own self, to have a stronger sense of self. And when you have hit rock bottom, you start to rebuild from that place. And I tell people it was like I was burnt, cut, dipped in salt with my head bashed against a cement brick and shard glass in my face. And that's graphic. Yeah. But and there's a quote, and I can't remember who wrote it, but it's a dangerous thing to love someone so much you would do anything for them, because when they leave or they do something, you'll crumble. But you can rebuild. That's what I teach my clients. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. You may trip, you may be bruised, you may be hurt, but you have to look at it. You can look at your struggles 2 different ways: as a reason to stay stuck, or as a catalyst for change. And as long as you're open to being a catalyst for change, using your struggle to help other people and to do those things, it's important, and not to be in the victim. Now, you can sit and wallow for a moment or two. Absolutely. Give yourself that time to grieve and mourn, because it's a loss. It's a hurt. But rise above the ashes. Yeah. Like, the wake-up call for me was literally laying on my floor having a heart attack. And I'm thinking, this isn't a good place. I have a 5-year-old. I have a 4-year-old. I need to rise above the ashes and use this. And so I changed my practice. And one of my star clients, all my clients are star clients, but she in particular, she changed the trajectory of her business because she too wants to help people rise above the ashes, but she wants to help them with music and art. And there's a way to monetize that.
Absolutely.
Especially a lot of people with artistic movements like the tattoo of the what is it? I can't remember. It's not a hyphen. It's not a colon. Is it a colon? Where they have the dot and then it's for suicide survivors, people who it's a pause. It's you tattoo and it's kind of like a code. They've been through suicide, but that was a pause in their life, and they went on. And people who have that, and people who that's how she helps people. So in doing my own work and working through my own things, I was able to help her through her stuff and to stop looking for outside validation and stop looking. And some people are afraid to outshine. And it's usually your friends. It's usually your family you don't want to outshine. I went through my whole Facebook and unfriended all of my family and all my church friends. Well, I don't go to church like that anymore, like, sit on the church every Sunday. But I do have spiritual practices. But, all the people that I knew from my other life, because I knew they weren't going to be on this journey with me. And sometimes you have to separate yourself so that you can grow. Because some people have that lobster mentality. They keep pulling you down. Because
the crab bucket.
Oh, the crab, yeah.
The crab bucket, yes. Yes, I know that one.
And people, they have I generous assumptions.
Yeah.
I assume that they have the best intentions. Like, they don't want you to fail, so they're trying to protect you. But everything you want is on the other side of comfort. You've got to step outside your comfort zone, and don't be afraid to fail, because some of my favorites, Sylvester Stallone sold his wife's jewelry, before he made Rocky. Steve Jobs, I absolutely love him to death. The writer for Lord of the Rings, Colonel Sanders, thank God that he kept, because I'm in love with those potatoes. Abraham Lincoln, all these people failed. Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, she's amazing.
All of these people failed. Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
The Beatles, they told the Beatles they didn't have musical talent. I have all of their music. All of it.
What's your favorite song?
Eleanor Rigby.
Oh, that's good. I like Hey Jude.
My daughter was almost named Eleanor Rigby.
Oh.
Or actually Rigby, but
very cool.
I go out of the box with names. I figure, hey, let's give the interviewer something to be excited about.
Wow. That's a really good mentality. I love how you're speaking to kind of the overcoming and what you're saying about people who are trying to protect you. So I kind of want to just dig into that just for a second, in that a lot of times our outer world is part of our inner. And when people are they think they know best for you and telling you what to do, that's kind of like your ego too. It's just coming from other people too, isn't it?
It is. And some people don't. I've learned this, and I would think I was telling you before the interview, people don't like me for 4 reasons, maybe 3. They don't know me. They think that I have something that they can't have, which, by the way, if you want to know anything I've got, I'll teach you. It's not a secret, I promise. And that somebody they love loves me back. They don't want you to, and sometimes people are very upset because you are maybe from the same town or the same age or the same background, and here you are succeeding and they're still where they were. And they're wondering, they're a little jealous because they want something you have. But that's your opportunity to be the bigger person. Now, don't go and say, na boo boo, I'm bigger than you. Don't do that. That's not nice. Turn your hand back and reach back and bring them. Now, they may not want to come, in which case that's on them. You've done the best you can. But, I have family members, like, I always say we had the same opportunities. We could have gone to high school, gone to college, grad school, whatever you don't have, at some point you have to take responsibility. You can't continue to blame other people. Yeah. Because, I could sit in my own boo. I've lost people, I've been hurt, I've been, burnt, cut, dipped in salt. But and if you're a parent, look at what you're teaching your kids. Yes. No. Because the one reason that I made a lot of decisions in my life, especially after becoming a mother, was I can't let my children think that misery is normal, because it's not. Happy is normal. You'll have your bad days. Every day is not perfect and sweet and candy. But if you get a rose, there are going to be thorns. But you're going to enjoy the rose. And just, rise above the ashes. And I know that's not always easy, but it's doable. But you can't do it unless you don't have the right mindset. And open your own business, and I promise you all your monsters will come out to haunt you.
Oh, yeah. Yes. That's like kind of the general theme of what every speaker on this series has been saying thus far, is that you want transformation, become an entrepreneur.
Yes. Because you have to really delve deep, because when you start having, and that's why I don't think of it as a trick when people have 50K and 30K and 20K months. I have my whole spiel about that. But the first step is knowing that you are worthy of that, because it's really only 4 packages of 5,000.
Yeah.
Or one coach actually costs 30,000 a month.
Yeah.
That's a trigger. Yeah. But still, once you know, and think about this, you're here on this earth this time around to go through this journey and be a teacher and a student.
Yes.
Why not monetize that? There's nothing wrong with that. Money is not the root of all evil. It's an energy tool. And my example for that is, it's just like a knife. You can use it to cut your steak or cut someone's throat. I choose to cut my filet mignon.
Yeah. Oh, yummy steak.
Never a vegetarian. Love meat so much.
My husband would love you. He's like, yes, fellow carnivore.
Oh my gosh, food is life. People are like, oh, I forgot to eat today. Were you in a coma? How did you forget to eat? I'm thinking about my next meal at my present meal.
Yeah, I am that type of person where I'll forget to eat because I'm pretty simple with what I like. I like chicken and I like salad and I like berries. I'm very much a woodland creature, it sounds like. Except for the chicken.
Maybe you were over the tribe of hunting and gathering. You just, whatever they brought back, you were the one who made.
I'm pretty sure I went out and hunted. That is totally my personality. You give me a spear or a gun, I'm going for it.
In the next life, I totally want to be an event coordinator. I want to like organize all the events, because I want to be in charge of the food. Because don't you hate when you go to a party and there's nothing you can eat? You're like, I'll have a glass of water, thanks.
Maybe some lemon I can suck on, or
right? Is there anybody with any celery, some ranch dressing, anything?
Well, really wonderful information. Thank you so much for sharing. I love oh gosh, it's got to come back to me. I love the metaphor with the knife. I have my little gem here, my little stone, my pink one. But I love that, how you can cut your steak or cut someone. That's a really vivid one too. And I love those images because they stay with you, right? They stay with you. You can use imagery like that. So I'm excited because like we were talking before this, and we're going to take a little detour because I'm really curious, but you were talking about a past life regression before we talk. Like, wait a second, because I want to hear it, but I want everyone else to hear it too. So Dr. Meredith has been so kind to open up, and she's going to speak to that. I'm excited.
I'll admit, I was a staunch believer that that's blasphemous. I'm going straight to hell. But in my defense, I was a pastor for 10 years. But now that I've gone on a spiritual journey and I feel like spirituality is more my path, and I was having such a hard time with my mom. I was having a really hard time. I was obsessed with her. But I'm adopted. So I didn't even meet her until I was 14. And she's white. And obviously I'm not. And so if you saw us together, you would never know she didn't bring me into this world. She is my heart and soul. We complete each other's sentences. She sings like Roberta Flack. She even sings better than her. I'm like, she's my ride or die. My mom is my ride or die. And I could not let it go. I couldn't just drop her out of my life. I couldn't just cut her off like I do most people. I'm the one that you hurt my feelings, you get cut off. I'll send you a card in the mail, but we don't get to do anything together anymore. And I could not understand for the life of me why I couldn't let her go. Yes, she's my mom. Yes, she's been in my life for almost 30 years. I'm not quite 40 yet. And I just couldn't, because anybody else that had done that to me, that had hurt me to that capacity, I would have cut them off. But I couldn't cut her off. I couldn't do it. So I was very careful, because FYI, don't let everybody get into your energy space. It's not a good idea. Even if your best friend's an energy worker, be very careful because you really can mess yourself up. I know I was sick for a week letting the wrong person in my energy. So I went to someone I trusted, and Jenna's amazing. If you want a recommendation, I'll give you one. But she's freaking amazing. And she's a soul recovery coach. And so after I had my heart attack, I was like, I've got to do better because I'm a healthy person. I eat well. You know, I have some health concerns, but I'm healthy. So to have a heart attack under 35 was pretty shocking. And I was like, you know, this is what's happened to me. And then I lost my grandmother. There was a lot of things around it, but my mom was the pulse. So I said, Jen, you know, we've got to be connected. Something's got to give. What is it? So she did the past life regression for me. And my mom and I have been in several lifetimes together. And that's why our bond is so strong, because this is not our first go round.
Yeah.
And I cried for 2.5 days. And I realized I found out a lot of other things. I found out that I am subconsciously judgmental, but it's not because I think I'm better. It's because I want to protect people from making mistakes that could really damage them. So I tend to come off judgmental when really all I'm trying to do is protect. But every lifetime, that's been my thing. That's been one. And the one thing I had to work on, which I'm so glad I found out, is so I can spend the rest of my life working on it, is shrinking for other people. In every life, even with my mom, in other lives, I protected her. And I wanted, you know, nothing to happen to her. And I was her protector. In this life, she's supposed to be mine, and she's done a really good job. She's just on my list right now. But I had to learn to stand up for myself. And had I never gone through that past life regression, I wouldn't know what my objective is. Because I was a good girl. I did everything right. Why am I in so much pain? Why is this happening to me? And it's because I needed, and what's funny is, and that's the reason I'm so gung-ho that it's true, is because you can't make this shit up. You just can't. It just doesn't work that way. And I've always in the back of my head wondered how I kind of didn't make some of the same mistakes. Like I almost had like a preface, like a shorthand, like don't do that. Because my lesson was to start standing up for myself. But I'm really an introvert. So it's an effort for me to be in the spotlight. And even though I was a pastor for 10 years, I had a very small church. So it wasn't like I had hundreds of thousands of people. But it was, you know, this lifetime I need to work on standing up for myself, coming into my own power.
Yes.
And not shrinking for other people. And as I said at the beginning of this episode, I'm a recovering people-pleasing doormat.
Yeah.
And all of those efforts to, you know, I had to be kind of struck in the face with it in order for me to really get it. And then my grandmother passed away, and I was floored. And one of the first things that hit me with that was, you're going to have to learn to stand on your own 2 feet. She didn't take care of my bills, but it was that emotional cushion between her and my mom. And it was like the past life regression, it teaches you so much. And I also became certified in esoteric numerology, which for the practical woos, this is where practicality meets spirituality with numbers. Numbers can't lie. 2 + 2 is 4, period. And it gave me an idea of what I need to learn. And if anyone wants a session, I'd totally help you with that, because it's so important. And that's why I really, when I tell my clients, we look at your inner badass narrative. I mean that because you need to know where you're going, your path. Why is this the way it is? And a lot of people, when we work together, they realize their patterns are generally the same. And it's from way back. Like, for me, one of the things I never would eat in front of people. Even though I'm obsessed with food, when I go to social parties, social events, I drink a lot of water, but you wouldn't see me eat. Because when I was in kindergarten, my ex-best friend told me that I smacked, and I didn't want to embarrass anyone, and I didn't want to embarrass myself. So it's amazing what those little psychological, you know, tick marks. And if anyone's familiar with timeline therapy, you look at things, specific events in your life, and how they channel your future patterns. And I can't tell you how that can change your life just by knowing the history, the backstory. And, you know, just having those those things to come out, even if you're scared or nervous, do it with someone you trust.
Yep.
And it changed my entire life. It made everything made sense. I started to come out of my shell. I changed my business. And I can honestly say, and I don't say this to boast in any way, I started really catapulting and really generating the revenue that I desired when I got the backstory and was like, okay, I deserve this. I deserve this. Because it really, if you're not where you want to be 10 times out of 10, it's a mindset subconscious.
Yeah. There's something there every time cause you're so right. Even I have I don't understand everything. I'm working so hard. I'm reaching out. I'm doing, the numbers are there. And, in the past it's happened where the numbers have been there, the effort has been there, and then my bank account didn't show that.
Right.
So, and it can be totally frustrating. What's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? And when I started to integrate more, when I really started to integrate the strategy and the spirituality, that made the biggest difference. When I really started listening to my intuition and then taking action forward, just everything opens up. And just kind of letting go. The biggest thing for me was letting go of that control piece, that this outcome has to happen this way, or it's not going to happen.
Surrender and allow. I'm reading a book right now literally called Surrender and Allow. I do a lot of personal development, and I do have several coaches. But when you start really, I'm the strategic planner. That's another thing I learned about myself, because I'm I plan everything. I plan to plan.
You plan to plan?
Yeah, my spontaneity is planned. We're going to be spontaneous next Thursday at 2:00. That's
love it.
It's just, it keeps, because it's about stability. For me. And it's when you put all the effort in and you look back and you're like, this isn't working. You really have to figure out what's going on, and releasing and allowing. It's so different than, even because when you pray, you really are leaving it up. That's all you can do. You can take the inspired action. Don't sit there and hope and pray you get $1 million and sit on your hiney all day. That's not going to work. Unless it's not going to work. But if you take the inspired action and the massive action, you're co-creating. I want a 10K month, reverse engineer. And this is totally something I heard you say on one of your podcasts. Reverse engineer and think about how much you're willing to give, the energetic exchange. And don't be afraid. And this is the thing. People say charge what you're worth. Well, I'm priceless, so that's not going to happen. But you can pick an energetic exchange that feels good and aligned. If you're $250 an hour, a month worth of coaching is $1,000, and you get 10 clients. But if that's a lot, because 10 is quite a lot of clients to see in a month, you're worth more than that, or you want to have an energetic exchange, $5,000 for 2 months, and you only need 4 clients. That's a 20K month. That's their 10 per month. But you also have to get into the energetic alignment that you're worthy. You're so worthy. And if you don't think you're worthy, I can promise you, you're going to feed that energy is going to feed off of you. Because people are like, buy my stuff, please. I'm worth it. Nobody's going to buy that, but I will take you from point A to point B with ease, grace, finesse, and tenacity. How does that sound?
Yes.
I'd go with B.
And I love that we're getting into sales too, because this is something I love. I love sales. I love it because it's just another opportunity to coach, right?
It's a game.
It's a game. It's a numbers game and a mindset game. Okay, what am I going to learn from this one? Somebody said no, so let's figure out what's really good, the deeper issues. It's almost like a internal puzzle piece, right? And it's not just them, it's you too. How am I working this? How are people responding to me? What do I need to learn? How can I support?
Am I painting the picture correctly?
So you get to learn. And anything where I get to educate and learn, I'm excited for. But I love that you're speaking to this, because there's a hair right there on my rock. Because really, when it comes to like you reverse engineering that price point, like, okay, this is what I want for a month. This is what I want to make. And then if you're like, well, $250 an hour isn't going to cut it. I'm going to be working in 10 clients. I just don't have, I don't have the reach. I can't expand like that. But it's okay because you can ask for more and give more value.
Exactly.
So like if somebody's a coach and they're like, well, how could I possibly charge $5,000 for 2 months of coaching? Like, because I can hear that one coming in. It's just like, well, give them access to your brain. Give them access to your brain. Have something extra for them, like an app where they can message you and get access to that brain so that whenever they're stuck, they can message you and then you have an answer for them and you have the next step. That's wildly valuable.
Give them access to your portal. Give them access to what a lot of coaches I see, not a lot, some are afraid to give. It's you're afraid, like if I teach them everything, then what will I have? Well, first, this is how you got to where you are. And isn't that what you want, to reach back and help others? They're not going to do the same thing the same way because they're not you. So give them what you have. They just paid for it. It's like going to buy a shirt and then the manufacturer say, I'm only going to give you this shirt minus that sleeve. Give them the whole thing. And the way you wear that nice cashmere sweater is certainly not how I'm going to wear it. So, just know that.
That's interesting. Do you think that there's a fear there? I know there's maybe a fear of like you're going to be out of a job and that lack mentality, right?
Back to the mindset.
Yep. I love that. That's a good point. It is the mindset. So, oh my gosh, this has been so much fun. I can't believe how quickly this is gone. Playing with my little pink rock.
Time flies, you're having fun.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, I know both of us are like really sleepy, but this is going so great. But you have a wonderful gift that I want to make sure that I leave some room at the end for you to go ahead and speak to that. So I would love to hear more about your gift.
I wrote a book, and it's a really good book. And I'm not saying that because I wrote it. I'm saying it because I went back and I read it. I'm like, dang, that was a good book. I'm like, oh, I wrote it. Now, when you can go back and you read something and you're just as shocked, that's how other people say, speak to how great it is. But it's called Wealth and Zen. And it speaks to how you can create a life of wealth and a life of Zen. And at the end, I go into how you can use your talent and your passion to monetize and invest with a small barrier of entry, and then work your way up to invest more and have multiple streams of income. And you never know, because how many times have we seen people work 30 and 40 years and then wake up and there's no pension? Or the families that do the 50-50 split, and then as they get older and plan to travel, one mate is sick and now you have to spend it on hospice and medical care. But multiple streams of income, and it allows you to have that flexibility. It allows you, if you're multi-passionate, you can make income from all of your passions. And it allows you more freedom, because when I lost my grandmother, I took a month off. Of course, when I had my heart attack, I took some time off, and they were very close together. And having passive income, having multiple streams of income, automation, systemization, allowed me to take the time I needed. And you never know when your kids are going to be sick, if you're going to get mono, which you can get from more than just kissing, by the way. You can get mono from many different ways. Or you find yourself 34 laying on the floor with a heart attack, or someone dies. I mean, there's so many different, or you want to take a month off and live as a digital nomad. Whatever your dreams are, it doesn't have to be catastrophic. It can be, I want to take a month off, or my daughter's moving to college and I want to be there, or whatever. Or it's my husband and I's 20th anniversary and we're going to go to Spain. Definitely go to Spain. Everybody should go to Spain. I went to Spain. It was amazing.
Okay. Yeah. I want to go.
It's beautiful. It is so beautiful. And, you want to help your kid buy their first car, or your kids not have to pay student loans. Those things, people have student loans till they die. I swear, the worst. But having that cushion, or if something falls through, you're not, a lot of people are one paycheck away from being homeless.
Yeah.
That's just the statistics. So it just allows you. So the Wealth and Zen book, it's 77 pages. It's completely free. And you have that. And then there is an option in there to work with me, but there's an option in there to have a free 1-hour session with me. So you're getting a $77 ebook. And it's valued at about $97. And then, of course, you get the option to have a 1-hour free session with me. So free always tastes better. So go for it.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for adding that in so that everyone can get to know you more in your work. It's beautiful. I love how yes, I am such a believer in residual income. Big time.
Yes, and as we get older, you don't want to work forever. Yeah.
Right. And it's just smart business to have multiple. I mean, billionaires have multiple streams of income.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they all say it, like you can't put all, it's the same saying, like you can't put all your eggs in one basket.
I know.
Multiple baskets. Same thing.
Yes, and several eggs in them.
Yes.
So some eggs don't hatch.
That's right. I like that. Ooh, I like that. Good. Nice job. Yay. Well, this has been wonderful. I know. I'm like, yay.
You can tell we're moms.
Yeah.
The things you get excited about when you become a mom. Whew.
I was never like this when I was a teenager. I was so serious. I know people are like, oh my gosh, what happened to you? I'm like, I became a mom. And
I was the one who wore suits to high school. Like I wore slacks to high school. Yeah. Nice. I think I own 2 pair of jeans. And I think I own 2 pair of jeans now.
Yeah.
That I don't wear. I'm more comfortable in slacks and pajama pants.
Yes, that's the best thing about working from home. You can put on your pajama pants or just stay in your pajamas and put on a nice top.
I'll tell you this story. Yeah. This will be a nice, cute ending.
Okay.
I have a mediation practice. So I mediate with people all over the world, country, all different languages. Mm-hmm. And I had on this beautiful shirt. I was so proud of myself. Yeah. But it was my no pants day. Mm-hmm. So I got up to get a file, and I forgot it was my no pants day. So I had to slide over to make sure that they didn't see my, cute underwear. But it was so funny because they didn't even pay attention, and I'm like, that was so the energy, the universe had my back that day, literally.
Well, okay, to comment on that, I love that you have no pants day. That's kind of cool. I've never heard of that. And thank you for being so honest.
Team no pants.
We should all have a no pants day now.
Yes, it's so much fun. Don't do it in the winter or if you live in Colorado or Maine.
Yeah, I'm from Maine, so I would not be doing it if I was still up there, that's for sure.
It's my rebellious stage from where you had to pack your kids in those, you remember those suits that they were like the snow suits?
Yeah.
And God forbid you have to potty. You always have to potty after you get dressed. You're like, fudge.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so much harder for girls, for women. It's so much harder.
It is. And God forbid you walk out and your, underwear, your pants are stuck in your pantyhose. You're like, oh, where that draft was coming from.
Oh, well, I was warm anyway.
It's your private air conditioner. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I could go so many different ways right now, and I'm gonna behave for now.
Oh my gosh, you have to tell me after we stop record. But yeah, I'm the same way. It doesn't take long for my mind to just. I can take anything, anywhere. Yeah, that's just how I roll.
Yep, me too. I like to tell my husband, I'm like, I don't know, you can't take me anywhere. I have no filter. I have no filter. I giggle a lot, and I have a really weird sense of humor. So everything's funny to me.
That was the one thing I used to get in trouble with at church is because I'd say things like I say suck a lot. You probably shouldn't say sucks in church because the older women, they don't.
To your congregation?
Yeah. It doesn't go over well in the homily, let me tell you. I'm just saying.
Oh my gosh, I like you so much. Oh, great. Well, thank you so much for this is a blast.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing your story and your past life regression and everything. Just thank you for being so open. I love it when people come on and they're real and they're authentic and they share it and their perspective. It's beautiful. It really is.
I used to be very straight-laced. Now I'm completely unlaced.
Yes. Me too.
Seems to work better.
It does work better. You're not stepping on eggshells thinking about what everybody else wants to hear. So
no.
And they love you for it. People love you for that.
They do. They appreciate that because I used to ask people, what's your dirt? I need to know we're on the same level. Give me your dirt. I won't tell anybody. I just need to know I'm not the only one with dirt.
We all have dirt. We all have a person. Yeah, because I love big personalities. I do. I mean, I love anyone's personality, but I love the bigness in someone's personality, even if they're not willing to show that or showcase that to the world. If I get a little glimpse of that, I'm like, oh, I'm your fan. I love it. Some people are just like, oh, do you think we're quirky now? I'm like, I like you even better now that I know you're quirky.
That's how I became like, girl crush you, is because you just seem to be so alive. And, there's a time and a place to be serious and straight-laced, like if you're being audited. But other than that, I mean, life is so super short. It's probably, you think it isn't, but you only get to go through this time, this life, this body one time.
Yeah.
Make the best of it. Like at the end, say, I used everything you gave me.
Yeah.
I used it up.
Yeah. Oh, I love that you have a girl crush on me. That's so great. Yay! You're like, I hope you don't think this is weird. I'm like, no, I think this is awesome.
It's hard to find cool people. Everybody's so straight. Everybody's so afraid to share that you're going to take their ideas. I have so many ideas flowing in my own head. I don't have any room for other people. So I'm still trying to write down my own.
Well, and that's the other thing. It's like, and so many of the speakers have said the same thing. They don't think that like one idea comes to one person. It comes to all of us, and we get to put our own different spin on it. It's just that abundant mindset, right?
Where if anybody was worried about copying, we wouldn't have 20 million coaches. But I coach differently than you do, but we feed off each other. And just be open to that exchange, people. Lighten up,
Lighten up. Look at that. Yes. Look at
that was totally off script. I don't think anything's been on script though.
For the podcast listener, she was like lifting her head up and saying lighten up. It was really cool.
You are a blast and a phenomenal host. I appreciate this opportunity and platform.
Oh, thank you. Well, I appreciate you, sweetie. This has been a lot of fun. So, audience members, this is the last day. This is the last day for the whole month of it. But you are coming back on for the summit, so I'm really excited for that.
Yes, I'm super excited.
You get to see the video version, I'm sorry, I love audio, but there's nothing like the video version of interviews. Nothing at all. Especially when you have like big personalities like you and me, where we're like hand talking, we're lifting our head up, and
I know it.
it makes it wildly entertaining. And when people are entertained, then they remember. That's my motto.
And people who know me know that when I'm annoyed, this is me. So they'll, even if I don't say it, people are like, oh, she's annoyed. You don't get to see that in the audio version.
She didn't do that in the audio version, sir. She didn't do that today, guys, so I didn't annoy her.
Oh my gosh.
All right, sweetie. Well, this is wonderful, Dr. Meredith. Thank you so much. I like calling you Dr. Mayor. Can I talk Dr. Mayor?
Yes. In fact, one of my clients, he's like, don't you know that by having the name Meredith, you are definitely Mayor Bear? I'm like, no, I didn't get that in the write-up.
Aw, that's a Mayor Bear Care Bear, right?
Oh, I love the Care Bears. Okay, that's another story. But thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Light at the End of the Funnel. Me and my amazing experts have provided you with so much valuable information, and to take it the next step, I'd love for you to go over to the show notes page at bit.ly/endoffunnel. That is bit.ly/endoffunnel, where you can receive free gifts from both me and my amazing experts. Thank you so much.